Okay, hello traders and welcome to our Market Blues video. It's still Napan here, founder of Masterthemarkets, Elite Trades Conference and the Traders Open Day. As you know, Market Blues is to help you be at peak performance state at the start of the week. As you know, as traders, it is so imperative that our mind is in the present moment and focused and knowing absolutely what the trade setups that we are looking for and what we should be trading and what we should be staying away from, and also most importantly, once you get into the trade, how to manage the trade and where to exit. So for all of that, your mind must be at its peak level state, and that's what these videos are all about. Today's video on Market Blues is going to be on consistency. Okay, consistency is a very, very important trait of a trader. So let's now take a look at that. Let me just share my screen. And there we are on the trades today. So let's say, for example, on euro dollar, that we are looking on. Let's see, in terms of consistency, let's just go through the topic for today, and then we can go through all the markets as well. So on the topic of consistency, you may ask yourself, okay, what is consistency? Consistency, as its definition goes, is to be consistent. That means to keep repeating a particular action on a consistent manner, okay, or in a repeated manner. An action that you keep repeating on a regular basis, okay, on a regular basis. Now, there's a couple of stuff over here that you have to understand, okay? First of all, there's a lot of parts when we talk about in what, which needs to be quantified. So let's take a look at that. First of all, you need to define what the action is that you're going to repeatedly execute. So the action. And then you then need to define the frequency. How long and how often are you going to repeat that action? Okay. How long, the duration, and how often. Okay. So for example, if you say that I want to do an action of, let's say, exercising, that's the action, then you got to ask yourself, okay, how long is your exercise period going to be for? And how frequent is it? 3 times a week, or is it every day and at this certain time? So not only long and not only how frequent, the time that you're going to be doing it as well. And then in terms of the action, as precise as possible, as quantified as possible, such that it leaves no room for doubt. So for example, when I say exercise can be so many different types of exercise, is it not, traders? It can be weightlifting exercises, it can be sports kind of activity exercises, it can be maybe cardio activity exercises, and even in that, there's so many. So for example, if I want to be really specific, an example is, what do I want to be consistent on? What does consistency mean? It basically means, first of all, defining what is that action. So for example, I say, I want to run every day 2 kilometers. Okay, I want to run every day 2 kilometers. And that is my action, my specific action. Okay, run every day for 2 kilometers. That means I've also said the action distance of 2 kilometers, frequent, how long it's going to be, right? Every day as well. How long is the duration going to be? At least 15 minutes, at least. Okay. And when am I going to do that? I'm going to do that at 6 p.m. every day. Now you see, I've defined my action and the frequency of that action. And then now I can look at doing it repeatedly, which is being consistent in that practice, not taking irregular breaks. That means if I do it today, then if I say I'm going to do it every day, doesn't mean that I take a break and I do it the next time I do go for a run is going to be in 2 months time. So the same thing in trading. So you got to ask yourself, so what instruments am I going to trade? Okay. How often am I going to be looking at them? How do I consistently execute them? what does consistent execution mean? What are my parameters for my entry, stop loss, and target rules? All that you need to know, okay? What are you going to consistently execute? That's the first part. The second part is, why do this? Especially in trading, traders, as you know, it's a statistical game. It's a law of numbers. For the law of numbers to work out, you have to be consistent. It's like a coin flip. You can only get 50-50 if you flip it enough times, but you must be consistent, isn't it? If you're not, then that 50-50, firstly, you cannot achieve. And also, if the odds are in your favor of the winning more than the losses, which we call it as asymmetrical risk, then you would not be able to achieve your net profit or your actual reward to risk factors. Right. The last thing is, how do you do that? As I've mentioned over here in the first part, clearly define what is that action. So in terms of the strategy, entry, stop loss being ISL, initial stop loss, trading stop loss, and target rules, exit rules, which is clearly quantify that, and then define how frequent you're going to do it, what the trade setup is going to look like in terms of this entry, initial stop loss, trading stop loss, and target. That means your trade setup, your trade management, and your exit. How frequent you're going to do it. Some strategies, some setups, you got to look at them every day to see for your trade setup. What time are you going to do it? That is how you achieve consistency with all these parameters in place. And not only that, through quantification. And the final thing, what I would finally end this off with, is that your consistency will definitely improve, and you have no reason to escape the regular intervals if you have the last ingredient of this entire mix. And what is that, traders? That is accountability. Accountability. And in terms of talking about accountability is what we have this great one-to-one review session for you guys, a 45-minute review session where we will take your trader personality test, give you a free video course which pertains to your personality, and will also trade live with you and teach you strategies that take 15 minutes a day, or which is called end of day strategies, where you set and forget and you leave them to run. So we'll do that with you all on the coaching session as well, so we can take a look and we can help you progress on your trading journey ahead. All right. So with that, just a quick recap. So we looked at what is consistency. We looked at why we should be consistent. And finally, we looked at how to be consistent in terms of defining your parameter rules, executing them at a particular time, and defining how the trade setup should look like, how you should trade manage, and what your exit rules should be. And finally, one of the most important things for consistency is accountability, which is what we have spoken about before. When you're accountable to someone like a coach who keeps on track of your progress, you become more consistent, and discipline will follow. Okay, good. So that's on the topic for today. Let's take a look at the markets in view for the beginning of this week and also towards the end of this month. Dollar Swiss, open equity, still to the downside, still progressing further to the downside. Let's see if it takes out this low today to carry on further to the downside, showing some kind of weakness to the downside. If it does take out this high going forward, I would say it probably is turning and reducing its open equity to the downside. Dollar yen, on the other hand, traders, I would say that the open equity is still a bit more to the downside. First level I'll be looking at is this low here. However, failing that, if it does take out this high and confirms, I will be taking a look on the upside in relation with this higher time frame. Cable, on the other hand, where is the open equity? It is starting to reduce its momentum. I would say if it does take out this low over here, more to the downside. If it does take out this high, more to the upside. Okay, right. Euro dollar, on the other hand, traders, I would say more open equity. Open equity is slowly diminishing to the upside. You can see the first interruption here, second interruption over here. and then the third one is started again over here. Okay, so in terms of that, traders, open equity, where is it actually now lying towards? I would definitely say more higher probability to the low side if it does take out that low. However, if it does take out this high, then it will continue on its momentum, but be cautious on your trailing stop losses. Aussie dollar, on the other hand, traders, more open equity. Where is it at the moment? I would still say a bit more to the upside. If it does take out this high over there, the first high to take out is here. But if it does go and confirm this top, then more open equity to the bottom. GBP yen, on the other hand, definitely more open equity probability now to the downside. If it does take out this level over here. Euro yen, on the other hand, same thing again. If it does take out the low over here, more open equity to the downside and the confirmation of a turning point. Coffee, on the other hand, I would still say more upside, more open equity to the upside. Dow Jones still going strong, 34,373. More open equity, I would say, if it does take out this low to the downside, if it does take out this high and confirms the bottom, more open equity to the upside. Silver, on the other hand, more open equity to the upside if it does take out this high over here. Other than that, if it does take out this low and confirms the top, more open equity to the downside. GPN we looked at, dollar index on the other hand, as you can see, if it does confirm this high today, I would say then more open equity to the downside on dollar index. Okay, great. I guess that's the review of the market for today. And that concludes our market blues for today. Topic was consistency. Reflect on it, integrate it in your trading strategy, and look to consistently execute it. All right, so that's all from me for now, traders. And as we always say, till the next time, I just remembered. Yes, the coaching session, you all reminded me again. So as we said, if you have any questions regarding anything that we've talked about or in pertainance to your strategies, feel free to book a coaching session as I showed you in the link below this video. And you can also remember to subscribe to our videos as well so that you get notifications when our videos go live. All right, so that's all from me for now. We look forward to seeing you on our one-to-one sessions. Till the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.